Morning, it's Steve here from Broomhouse Community Garden, and today I want to talk to you about seed potatoes. Just at the moment it's the soil's still quite cool, so it's a little bit difficult to get seeds started, but one thing you can be sowing right about now is seed potatoes. So what you're going to need for this is some seed potatoes. We've got a load here. We've got first earlies, second earlies and main crop. Now it's important that you know what it is that you're sowing. First earlies tend to be salad potatoes, new potatoes that take only between 10 and 12 weeks to grow. Second earlies are similar, again used for salads or boiled new potatoes, something like that. They take between sort of like 13 and 15 weeks to grow, and then finally you have your main crop. They take much longer to grow, between 16 and 20 weeks. The idea there is that you grow them on longer, they produce bigger potatoes, and you can use them and store them and use them all the way throughout the winter. So you can grow your potatoes in a few different ways, either in a pot. That one's a 75-litre pot, but anything sort of like 40 litres and above should be good for growing potatoes. You can grow them in a grow bag. This was a Hessian one, which is a good thing to use because after you've used it, it's a natural fibre, it'll rot down, you can throw it in your brown bin, or of course you can grow them straight in the ground. If you're growing them straight in the ground, just dig yourself a trench like I've done here. Loosen the soil up in the bottom of the trench. And then it's important that these are growing for a relatively long period, and they're going to be drawing out loads of nutrients. So to get really good results, use a all-purpose fertilizer like fish blood and bone, and just add a handful of fish blood and bone every sort of like couple of feet. And if you're growing in a sack or in a pot, then equally you need to be adding nutrients there. So a couple of handfuls of the fish blood and bone either in the sack or into the pot, and just mix that into the bottom of the planting hole. Okay, so if you're going to grow in the ground, then you need to dig yourself a trench about 1 spit deep of the spade, about this wide, which is again about 8 inches, 20 centimeters. And then you're going to place your potatoes according to the variety that you've got. If you've got first earlies or second earlies, then you want to be spacing them about a foot or 30 centimeters apart. If you're growing main crop potatoes, then you'll need to space them about 45 centimeters or a foot and a half apart. These are early varieties, so I'm going to space them 45 centimeters apart. And all you need to do at the moment is just cover those up. And you just need a few inches over the top. Then in a few weeks they'll start sprouting, and as they're growing, as they get up to sort of like about 10 centimeters high, you start drawing more of the earth around it and start creating a bit of a hill around the potato plant as it's growing up. For the bags and the pots, for a bag that size, you'd maybe want to put 3 or 4 new potatoes, the first earlies or the second earlies, into that. And again, as it's growing, add more and more compost into the bag, and bring the sides of the bag up as the potato plant is growing. if you're using main crop variety, then reduce the number of potatoes that you're putting in. So 2 or 3 potatoes, dependent on the size of your bag. And similarly for the pot, in a pot that size, which is 75 litres, you could get 3 or 4 of the first or second early potatoes, but only 2 or 3 of the main crop potatoes. And again, you would start off putting the potatoes fairly low down in the pot, and as the potato plants are growing up, add compost in to eventually fill up the pot with compost, and your potato plants will be coming out the top. So one of the beauties about potatoes is that they're a fairly easy crop to look after. You just have to make sure that during dry periods that you're watering them, especially if you've got something like a Hessian sack. That could dry out a lot quicker than a plastic pot or in the ground, so you'd need to water that a little bit more during dry periods. If you're growing them in grow sacks or in the pots, they're going to like as much light as they can get, so try and grow them in a nice sunny spot. Also, to say about your pots, make sure that they've got drainage holes in. What you don't want is a pot without drainage holes, that if you continually water, eventually you'll get the pot filling up with water, and that will be really detrimental to the potatoes growing. In fact, you're likely to kill them. They are a fairly easy crop to maintain. The chances are that if you forget to earth up and you can keep the plant alive, then you're going to get some sort of potatoes. The more care you give them, the better crop you're likely to get. So I've talked a lot about the different types of seed potato. There is, of course, no reason why you can't use some potatoes that are at the back of your cupboard that are sprouted, that you bought from the supermarket. One thing I would say though is that try and find out what variety they are. Most bags of potatoes will tell you what variety they are. So just Google seed potato and then the variety that's on the bag, and you should find out whether they are first early, second early or main crop potatoes. So good luck with your potato growing, and thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, then please pop them in the comment section below. And if you want to find out anything more about space or the growing project here in Broomhouse, then please look at the description below. Okay, thanks for watching.